How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Something nuts just happened, and honestly, I heads are gonna roll over at Vanguard. The volume that just came in for the Blackrock ETF is absolutely insane, and I want to compare it to VOO, which is seeing similar volumes today, but the amount of money BlackRock is making from today's volume is literally 50x what Vanguard's going to make. This is absolutely nuts. I haven't seen people talking about this. I've mentioned it a couple times. I've talked about why so many institutions want to sell Bitcoin ETFs. The facts are just insane. I want to go through this. I also want to talk about why Bitcoin's moving up, and I want to explain why this is bound to keep on happening. This upwards movement in price is bound to continue happening. And how cool is it now that we can say that Bitcoin's in the mid $50,000 range? Not low $50,000, mid $50,000. As I've said over the last few videos too, just don't lose focus when we have those moments, those weeks where we just stay stagnant. That's a time to accumulate, and that's what I've been saying over the last couple weeks. But let's get into what's happening today. If you don't mind, hit subscribe, turn on the bell notification underneath the video so you can see future videos like this as soon as I post them, and I will continue posting them. I think most people, when they see this, like most influencers, would just sit back on their hands, because right now I have a video that I posted a few hours ago. I think it's a good video still, and it's getting really good views for my channel. It's performing better than any of my last 10 videos, but a lot of people would just sit on their hands because they don't want to make another video, because then that will cannibalize those views. I don't care. I'm going to make a video because there is news in the market. I'm bringing it to you. We had this big move up again from $53,600 all the way up to the $54,000 range. And we have some news about Bitcoin ETFs. I will say right off the bat, obviously I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I have been adding to some Bitcoin long. So I posted in the Patreon last week that I was adding some to my Bitcoin long, and it did nothing, and then all of a sudden, boom, it spiked up. We went up $3,000. There is a link underneath the video if you want to try out Margex or Blowfin as well. Both are the two exchanges I really like to use for crypto trading. You can try those out. There's no VPN that you need to use. Better way to say that. You don't need a VPN. You don't need a KYC either. As you can see here too, very bullish moves. Right? I talked about this in the video this morning. We could see a big move up, and then we just saw a big move up. Yeah, just spiking up. Also, you can see HGAalgo just throwing those bullish momentum indicators. And yeah, very bullish move after that first bullish momentum. And then it said a couple more times there's still bullish momentum, and then another big move. There's a link to HGAalgo underneath the video. If you haven't tried it, try it out. Now, Bitcoin is moving up. Obviously, alts are moving up. We're at a pretty significant level, right? If you look at CoinMarketCap, it says just under $2 trillion in market cap. If you look over at CoinGecko, it will say more than that. Let's see if I reload the page. Sometimes CoinMarketCap shows like negative 0.53%, but we're actually up like 4% on the day or something like that. Yeah, 2.08 trillion. How nice is that? That's a nice number. Now, there are a couple reasons we're moving up. I think two main reasons. First of all, we're seeing massive volumes for the Bitcoin spot ETFs. This is as of 2 p.m. Eastern time, so 45 minutes ago from the time of this recording. Record volumes from the ETFs, FBTC and BITO. IBIT also high volume. They're saying then 20 minutes later, that had another, just in 20 minutes, it had 70 million in volume. And then 20 minutes after that, it had another 130 million in volume. I mean, what we've seen is mostly buying when we've seen volume in these ETFs. So think about that. Someone could have just bought $130 million worth of Bitcoin over about 20 minutes. That's nuts. Like the buying from these ETFs is crazy. And of course, there is high volume at GBTC, so it's going to be really interesting to see how these all shake out tomorrow, like what the actual net inflows are. I would not be surprised though if it's a record day or close to a record day. And just a quick update, after filming this video, I got the confirmation that IBIT hits 1 billion in volume. This is an hour and 20 minutes before the market closes. And the S&P 500 from Vanguard was at 1.09 billion. So I mean, IBIT is within 10% of Vanguard's flagship ETF. Let's see if they have anything else that's above that. No. So Vanguard, I believe their best performing ETF in terms of volume today is VOO, the S&P 500 index. One Bitcoin ETF is within 10% of that. And Vanguard did not want their clients to buy the Bitcoin ETF. They weren't in the running to get a Bitcoin ETF. I bet you they're having some conversations there, right? Their flagship ETF that everyone talks about when they talk about investing in the S&P 500, most people talk about VOO. There are some other ones too, but that's like one of the top two options if you want to buy the S&P 500. They've been working on that for a long time. That's what they push out to clients. IBIT, Blackrock's ETF, is doing the same volume, pretty much the same volume as that, which means they're making 5 times the fees today. I mean, if I remember right, IBIT's about 0.2%, and VOO is 0.04%. So if they have that amount of inflows, if they had the same amount of inflows on that volume, which isn't the case, right? VOO is being traded up and down. It's pretty much a sideways day for the S&P 500. So they didn't really grow in AUM, but let's be generous and say that they got $1 billion in AUM and BlackRock got $1 billion in AUM. BlackRock just made 5 times the fees that VOO did or that Vanguard did. Like there's going to be some conversation. Some people are probably going to get in trouble. Some people are going to change their minds on Bitcoin at some point. I've already heard from multiple people that they moved from Vanguard to Fidelity so that they could buy the ETFs. Like that is crazy when you start putting it in more business terms. Like the fact that Vanguard doesn't offer this is stupid. It's just stupid for the business. Now, maybe they think there's more of a downside to it than an upside. But again, keep in mind that the VOO is probably just a wash trade today, not really gaining any in AUM, maybe slightly, maybe they grow 100 million in AUM from the trading today if they're lucky, right? 0.04% fees. But IBIT's probably going to grow $1 billion in AUM, or close to it, $1 billion in AUM just today. 10 times the AUM and 5 times the fee per the AUM. So they're what they're gonna make from today is 50x what Vanguard just made from VOO. Think about that. That's nuts. Okay, so let me get back into the content. Another thing that's causing Bitcoin's price to go up is Bitcoin liquidations are quite high. You can see here in the last 24 hours, $82 million worth of Bitcoin liquidated, most of which are short sellers. 72 million. That's a lot. So when that happens, they have to cover. That pushes up the price. Longs liquidated 10 million. So one nice thing about leveraging is if you leverage long and there are short liquidations, it can wipe out shorts and then cause the price to go up pretty quickly. And yeah, everyone makes money that way. Now, of course, you can have the opposite happen as well, where we see short liquidations and then you can see or long liquidations, and then you can see a lot of longs being liquidated, obviously losing their money completely. That's always a risk you have to be willing to take if you are leveraging. So we have record volumes for the ETFs, which probably will cause more buying in the following days. That doesn't happen right away, right when there's volume. That happens days after. We have a bunch of shorts being liquidated. Crypto stocks are running up. This is something that I talked about in my last video. Like obviously there are people that want to get in that can't get in right now. CleanSpark being up 27% a day is not normal when Bitcoin's up 5%. I mean, it usually trades at a nice multiple, but this was up 12% before Bitcoin even moved this morning. And now it's up 27%. A lot of crypto-related stocks moving up exponentially even before Bitcoin started to move up today, which is what I talked about in the last video. Like, hey, there are people that are buying these because they can't buy Bitcoin ETFs yet. They need to get it approved. And something I just think is really interesting. Alex Becker says, there simply isn't enough Bitcoin left. There simply isn't enough Bitcoin left. There simply is not. Now, let me tell you why we're going to keep moving up, right? Let's say I'm a central banker and maybe my currency hasn't done that well over the last couple of years. Maybe there's been high inflation. Maybe our economy is not great. But I can print my own money. Now, what would I do? If I could print my own money, what would I do? Well, I'd probably want to buy an asset that's scarce. So I'm a central banker. You're just a Bitcoin investor, right? You're taking profits now at 54,000. I go to you and say, hey, I have this money. I just made it. I just printed it. It's $1 million. I will buy your Bitcoin off you. You say, okay, great. We've moved up a little bit. I'll sell you my 20 Bitcoin. I say, okay, that was easy. Well, I know you have some Bitcoin left, right? So I just printed another $3 million, right? Oh, sweet. Okay, well, I'll give you my other Bitcoin. Okay, then I come back. You don't have any Bitcoin left. But, hey, I just printed $1 billion. I better go buy some more Bitcoin, right? Oh, wait, let's make this $1 billion here and then $2 billion here. Okay, boom, another $2 billion, right? So this can continue to happen. Governments can print their money and then buy a scarce asset, and they don't care the price that they pay for it. Of course, they do a little bit, but they can print something infinitely and buy something scarce. So what are they going to do? Some entities are going to do this behind the scenes. Now, it's not like every country's out there buying Bitcoin. It's not like the US government's printing billions of dollars to probably buy Bitcoin right now. But there are some entities that are doing it. I guarantee it. There are also some companies that can get infinitely more capital, right? You think about this like MicroStrategy. They continue to get more debt. They continue to sell some shares and buy more Bitcoin. So they can continue to buy a scarce asset, which forces the price up. And when the price goes up, they can borrow more against their business, and they can buy more of that underlying asset, which forces the price up, and so on. We're also moving to a time that will probably have lower rates, so more people are interested in that. More people are investing risk on anyways. That's why the price will continue to go up. There aren't enough Bitcoin to go around for everyone that wants it. That's not even leveraging or printing their own cash, right? There's not enough to go around for those people, but you start adding those other things in there. Like, it is the scarcest asset. It's the perfect time for this to go up in price, and it's going up, and people want it more and more, and as more and more people want it, the price goes up, and as the price goes up, more and more people want it, and it's a fulfilling cycle. Like, this is going to be crazy. I know I talk about Bitcoin a lot. I bore some people with it. I bore some people with my tirades about how there's not enough Bitcoin to go around, but it's true. I need to keep on pounding the table on this because it is so important. If you can get an allocation to Bitcoin now, if you had done it even just a week ago, a couple days ago, if you had done it a month ago, over the last year and a half, any time that you could have bought Bitcoin was a good time to be buying. A good time to be buying, right? And usually it paid off within a couple weeks, a month, a couple months. But some people are coming in right now, and they have to know that if you don't have an allocation, you probably want an allocation to this, even though it's moving up. Like, I helped my family buy. I helped my parents buy. I helped my in-laws buy right before the ETFs. And I told them, hey, it might go down after the ETFs are approved. It might go down short term, but long term, this is really bullish. So they weathered that gain, and then the loss, right? That volatility they bought like in the low 40s and even mid 40s. We went up to 48. Then we went down, and I had to explain why it went down. And then we went, and I just said, you should hold. If you have money, you should dollar cost average more. And I set someone up. I set my parents up to buy consistently. Like, they don't have to look at it. They just buy some of the ETF every single week. So there are going to be people that do that too. Like, people like me that set up their parents to buy the ETF every week. That's buying pressure. That's crazy. So that's going to be really powerful. Let me know your thoughts on this underneath the video. Again, hit subscribe if you want to see future videos like this. I don't care if I have performing videos that are performing well. As long as there's stuff to talk about, I'm going to bring you updated videos, because that is the most important thing, is to make sure that you know what's happening in the crypto space, because not everyone can just go through Twitter. Again, there's a link underneath the video to Margex or to HGAalgo if you want to try out some really powerful tools, some tools that can be really beneficial during the bull market. Check those out underneath the video. I appreciate it. I will see you in the next one.